What's going on, Workforce? Brian here, and today we're talking about New World, the upcoming action MMORPG from Amazon Game Studios. This is going to be their first major foray. They've already announced other MMORPGs, especially ones set in The Lord of the Rings, but this is their first new game, their new IP. And honestly, as we get closer and closer to the beta, as they continue to release and show off more information, I'm getting excited. I really am looking forward to going hands-on with this game because today I feel it's important that we don't overhype a specific game because you never know whether it's going to be successful or not. But I want to define what I'm looking for in terms of success in this game. There's a couple of key areas that I think are vastly important, and that's what I want to talk about today, and that's what I want to focus in on in the context of New World. If you have not seen our previous coverage, I do have a playlist. It'll be one of the top links of this description of this video below. Can't speak, but check that out if you're interested in getting caught up on our previous coverage. But before we dive into this video, I do want to say this is a buy-to-play game, no subscription. There will be microtransactions. We don't know what that means. That is really what the number one question that people, bring. They're like, what is this? How do I play? Right now, the news about it is that you can sign up. You can go to thenewworld.com. I'll have a link for that also below, where you can sign up to be randomly selected to be a part of the alpha that's currently going on, or randomly selected to get into the closed beta without having to pre-order the game. If you pre-order, you're going to get into the closed beta, or you could still sign up and be randomly chosen as a part of that. So again, all that information is in the description of this video for you guys if you're interested in diving in. I am hoping RNG plays well. Otherwise, it looks like the beta is kicking off here in April. We don't have a specific date, but we will keep you informed as more information rolls out. If you missed, like I said, the previous coverage, we've talked about their public events, the PvP, the PvE, the factions, all of that information. There is so much good information, and how it, for me, makes it feel like Final Fantasy XI, because they are bringing back that sandbox, they are bringing back the factions, and honestly, I can't wait to go hands-on, because the first thing in today's video is literally about how does the combat feel. The combat looks beautiful. They've showed it off. They show it off how it just is that action combat. All the weapons look amazing. Fact that makes me think Final Fantasy XI 1.0, where everything was really based around your weapon that defined how you chose and built your character. But that's neither here nor there, because that's a while ago, back in history. But bringing it to 2020, it's all about how it feels. Looks are great. The visuals of this game are incredible. Like the lumberyard system that this is built off of looks amazing. Like I cannot remember something, just me looking at something and saying, oh, is that an MMORPG? Like, because I'm not connecting that yet. Obviously, we're about to make a huge leap into the next generation. And speaking of which, just as an aside, it is rumored that this game will also be coming to next generation consoles. Not confirmed, but we do know controller support is there, which for yours truly is a big plus. But while not confirmed, that has me even more excited about it if it's successful and more. So the first measure of success for me, like I said, is that action combat. How does it feel? Action combat games are great if they feel great. And there's so much about the feeling, how it feels when you're controlling it, versus how it looks on screen. It can be flashy, but if it doesn't feel responsive, you don't feel connected to your character through combat, it's one of the things you're going to do a lot in this game. That's going to be kind of the first major kind of red flag. Haven't touched it yet. Hopefully we'll, at least within the next month, be able to give you guys hands-on impressions and streams with that combat in mind and be able to tell you how it feels for me. We do, maybe we differ, maybe we won't, but at the end of the day, like, that's going to be the first make or break. The second make or break for me, trust. If this developer can set up that relationship, that relationship of trust that I have with them, that is the most important thing. I think when we look at all other games out there, especially more or less persistent games that rely on some additional support by the player base, whether it's microtransactions, subscription fee, I don't know, whether they're going to just, ping you very little or ping you a lot, or at least every month. I don't know. I guess I was trying to think, was there a third one? You can tell I'm not using the script today. So if there's a relationship of trust that can be developed with the studio and with the publisher, so that I trust that when I'm playing the game that they're not going to be trying to go through my pockets. At the same time, that if they do make something interesting, I trust that my support of the game is benefiting not just me, but everybody else around me. Trust is the ultimate important thing, because whenever anybody says like, oh man, microtransactions are bad, I think that's because they don't have a trust in that developer or that publisher behind the microtransaction. And the reason why I counter with, I go, if you trusted them, you would praise its sales. You look at consoles, you look at video games specifically. Whenever we trust that developer, we praise its sales. We're like, it sold 50 billion units. Like, way to go! Yes, this is my game. Same thing with Final Fantasy XIV. We get excited behind the number of subscribers, and so trust is the ultimate paramount there. If we don't have trust with what they're doing, anything might feel like a slight. Everything might feel like they're just trying to go through your pockets, especially in a long-running, persistent game. The only way to establish that is obviously with time. So that's going to be another. That's what I'm saying. It's the second make or break moment. The third make or break moment, especially in a persistent game and a new game, literally is going to be, what is their content schedule like? The fact that it's a buy-to-play game, there's no subscription fee, supported by additional microtransactions. Do we wait a year? Do we wait 10 years? Like, what is that going to look like? Again, the only thing that can solve this is not them telling me, it's them showing me. We've seen games come out and say, this is going to be our roadmap. And obviously things don't go according to plan, and thus chaos ensues, and thus trust is damaged, and thus it doesn't matter how fun the game is. It's something that becomes a challenge within any gaming community to kind of get over those hurdles. But if we could look at a content roadmap, if they have an idea of what's to come, it's all going to be about showing and not telling, and that's going to help establish the trust again, which is pivotal. And finally, in conclusion, obviously we're going to be playing this game, and obviously I hope that this is something that you're interested in checking out. In the long run, in the grand scheme of things, I would say wait till we put out at least our impressions or our review before jumping in. I would say if you're interested in it slightly, at least go see if you can get the RNG and get signed up, and that way maybe you'll be able to play without having to pony up any money or having to pre-order. I do believe that you can cancel your pre-order, that you can do that if the game isn't speaking to you, but the facts of what they've talked about with the PvE and the PvP of this game, it could be something that's fun for a long time to come, especially if we're talking about different faction wars and fighting for territory. Maybe the workforce can show up in force and we can have some control. So on that note though, we do need to have kind of a community meeting, if you guys will accept it. Sometime, I guess this week, I'll try to get together in Discord so we can sit here and just kind of figure out what faction are we going to go to. I think mostly we're thinking Syndicate or the Covenant. Yeah, I was like, why am I drawing a blank? The Marauders, the Syndicate, and the Covenant. We covered it in a previous video. We were thinking that. I ended up doing a personality test, if you didn't see that video, in which that a Covenant ended up being what it is. But neither here nor there. Something that, like, that way we can all kind of decide what faction we want to be. Maybe we'll do a poll, and then we'll decide which server we're going to go on once they announce the servers themselves. You can only have one character per server, so if we decide that, yeah, we're going to represent a faction on each, with each faction on different servers, we'll have to look at that at a different date, because to level up 3 characters, that's a lot of work. But regardless, I want to get together, that way we can get our company, get our guild representing and having some fun, hopefully here in a month. And then obviously, since our progress doesn't carry over into the full game, it'll give us a good taste. We'll see if we like it, and then we can decide again what we want to do for release in May. Assuming there aren't any massive delays with this game. So, thanks to everybody for watching this video. If you got any questions about this game, be sure to leave them in the comments below, so that way we can kind of dive in and hopefully help answer and get you guys the information about this upcoming MMORPG release. Very excited about it, and hopefully it's good, but at the same time, don't hold your breath. It's fine to be excited, but also just, I guess always have that cautious optimism. I think that's a good balance when it comes to these new IPs. And who knows? Who knows? It could be a hit, or it could be something that takes a little bit of time to get to work. Because, like I said, if we trust them, if they can keep pushing out updates, I'm sure that as a community working together with the developers, we can get a really solid experience that's fun for years and years and years to come. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thanks again for watching. My name is Brian, and this is the Workforce here at WorkToGame. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you soon. Take care.